We are now joined by Gohar Khan. Now, he's the CEO, co-founder of Next Admit. Gohar, tell us a little bit about what Next Admit is.
So Next Admit is a college admissions counseling firm that's really focused on helping students navigate the college admissions process. And right now we offer a suite of services that are affordable compared to most industry benchmarks. And some of our services include essay reviews, college reviews, consultation calls. But the idea is to match the prospective applicant with mentors who have also been through the process and can then help these students get through the process as well.
Just looking at some of your advisors, some of your consultants, as you call them, a lot of diversity, people of color, women, men as well, trying to really show that you do not need to perhaps come from privilege or be your stereotypical applicant. How are you finding the interest? How are you finding people find out about your message?
So our message is really propagated mainly through TikTok and our social media channels.
Of which you have, how many followers just on your TikTok alone?
1.1 million.
Very good.
So that message is really communicated through our channels, through our posts. And the idea is to build awareness of opportunity, right? Is to tell students what they can do in high school to better their chances to get into college, how they can best prepare for exams, how they can best prepare for interviews. And so that builds the awareness, which then kind of funnels into the Next Admit business if students want even more help.
Okay, so at the moment, the offerings are very expensive from the competitors. So you're trying to come in at a lower price point. Are you paying the consultants for the work they do to review essays, to do training, to help with interview prep and the like?
We are. And even though we pay them, we still are trying to make sure that our prices are below, what most of our competitors are offering, because the mission is to kind of bring affordability.
So what sort of a price would I pay for my essay to be checked?
So right now, for a typical Common App essay, it's $65.
Okay. And are you finding that now is a time you're seeing disruption in applications for universities? Are they thinking in a more diverse fashion? Are you seeing hope that we will get more people from more diverse backgrounds into this sort of higher education at a reasonable price point?
100%. I think there's definitely a focus on making sure that people from different contexts and backgrounds do have an equal opportunity to go to college. And from that, it's really, admissions officers are looking less at test scores. They're focusing more on the soft factors like essays, interviews, first generation status. And so taking these kind of holistic points into consideration, these colleges are then making their decisions. And that's definitely the way the college admissions industry is headed.
How did you get your help? Because of course, you and your brother well, your brother's still at a very highly esteemed education facility. You were at MIT, recently graduated. How did you get there?
So really, I had to figure it out all on my own. I entered high school with just the dream of getting into MIT. And so I spent my 4 years always on Google, always just researching, what other students had done. And I found, it was tough. I had to do it all alone. And so then having gone through that process is really what inspired the conception of Next Admit.
Tell us about, therefore, the future competition, because as you say, you helped educate yourself through the power of the internet. We're seeing social media being a real resource in so many ways when it comes to perhaps boosting your financial literacy, then when it comes to boosting your ability to take tests, to get into highly esteemed education areas. What do you think new companies might form? Could access to information be free?
So I think the idea is, I think all the information can and should be free. I think a lot of companies have developed blogs and information repositories on the internet with articles about everything, but it's really about that one-on-one interaction. So the information should be free, but then the premium is really with that interaction with the consultant and that extra help.
So how do you make money with Next Admit?
So with each of our services, when a student comes to buy an essay, we take a small commission off each of our services that we offer.
And so this is about scale. At the moment, you're in the United States. You're looking at going more global?
Definitely. The goal is to eventually expand to the UK next and to kind of conquer UK admissions as well, but currently we're in the US.
So talk to us about the 5-year, the 10-year. What do universities look like in the US and the UK?
So in the past year, what we've seen is that tests or a standardized admissions tests, have really kind of gone out of the picture. The idea is to focus more on the soft factors. And so I think admissions will really trend towards this idea of making sure that we better capture applicants and the kind of environments that they come from. Because right now I think, there's this notion where you can almost pay to play or kind of pay your way into these elite universities. And universities are trying to kind of work against that sort of notion and, create equal access and opportunity. And so as the industry kind of trends towards that future, we want to make sure that Next Admit services are kind of geared towards that, helping students with their soft factors, with their essays, rather than with the more, kind of gamifiable factors.
And also, to a certain extent, be able to navigate the financing of going to university. Is that something you're thinking about? Because for many, it's completely unattainable.
Exactly. We definitely do want to expand out into scholarships, create a scholarship database that's hopefully, just entirely for free for all of our students.
And talk to us about how you're scaling Next Admit. Obviously, you talk about the phenomenal amount of social media followers that you have. What about, expanding, raising money, ensuring that you can continue to scale?
So we really want to focus more on the technology aspect. As we continue to scale, this past year, we released an AI college essay scanner, so students can just submit their essays. It automatically gives them feedback. And that tool has been used by over 20,000 students. And so we want to continue building out a suite of AI-powered tools that can enable us to scale without, the need for consultants, perhaps, because I think that is the biggest limiting factor for us.
You optimistic?
100%.
About just further education and its ability to enhance rather than work against diversity?
100%. And I think everyone, admissions officers, deans, are taking a very prospective and kind of active outlook towards achieving the, more diversity.